Hey everybody, this is Bruce and this is Frugal-Vlog number 7. How's everybody today? Always kind of enjoy making these, but I probably don't vlog on a real regular basis. Maybe I should. One exciting thing I kind of have planned for me and my wife is to visit the Henry Ford Museum in, I want to say Dearborn, Michigan. And we're planning on doing that in October, and I'm going to make that all into a vlog to share with everybody on YouTube. It's going to be quite a trip. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of cool historical stuff, including the chair that President Lincoln was sitting in when he was assassinated, President Kennedy's convertible from the assassination in 1963. God, it's hard to believe it's been that long. But there's going to be other cool stuff other than assassination stuff. That would be kind of a bummer. I think we're in very exciting times, especially in the world of technology. And so this vlog is more just kind of some thoughts about what's going on out there. The last few weeks have been literally amazing, right? We've seen a tremendous amount of coverage over the introduction of the new Haswell-E processors. We've seen the enthusiast processors. We've seen the new X99 chipset motherboards released. We've seen, oh goodness, we've seen the new DDR4 RAM being released. We've seen, we had IFA, we had PAX and IFA. We've seen a whole bunch of new mobile technology released, including wearables and phones. The new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. The new Moto X, the new Moto 360. There's, of course, been some new Windows phones released as well. And just next week, we've got the Apple event coming up. And so it's been really, really exciting times out there. My PC is now a year old. And at the time I built it, I used pretty high quality parts in it. And it's got a 4770K. It's got liquid cooling, 32 gigs of RAM. It's a pretty potent computer. And I'd say the weakest part in it now is the video card, which is a Radeon 7950. That I would think would be probably about the weakest link in this machine. Well, now here comes Intel, right, with the first consumer class 8-core processor, the i7 5960X. And this is an amazing processor. This thing's a beast and it's built for overclocking. It's unlocked. 3 gigahertz base frequency on this thing, 20 megabytes of L3 cache on this. Supports up to 40 PCIe 3.0 lanes on it. Works wonderfully with multiple graphics cards. 2 graphics cards in the at 16X and the third card at 8X. So it's an amazing processor. Now they're really expensive. We're talking $1,050 for one of these chips right now. And you need the new X99 chipset motherboards to go with it to make it work. And those are seeing prices in that $300 plus range for these new motherboards, which is pretty expensive for a lot of people's budget. And then also you're going to need the DDR4 memory. And like I have 32 gigs of RAM right now. To replace that with 32 gigs of DDR4 would run me about $500. I got to thinking because I go by when people say, well, you're frugal tech, that means you must be cheap. And well, I search for value for my money. And of course, right now, I don't use my machine so heavy as to require this, but it's really drool-worthy when you look at all the tech channels out there that have been showing up the enthusiast process. Well, it makes sense because, I would think you would be a PC enthusiast to watch like Linus Tech Tips, Barnacle Nerdgasm, Jay's 2 Cents, all there and other channels. Hardware Connects is another one. I mean, there's a number of them out there. It would make sense that these folks would be on there. But realistically, if I wanted to upgrade to my system today, I would pay the bleeding edge tax. I mean, we're talking, like I said, $1,050 for the CPU. I'm looking at $500 for the RAM. I'm looking at $300 to $400 for the motherboard. It would be around $2,000 upgrade right now to go from what I got. Yes, what would I gain? I would gain, obviously, 4 more cores. I'd have 16 logical cores, 8 physical cores. I'd gain that. Obviously, DDR memory would be faster. I'd also gain the PCIe 3.0, and depending on the motherboard, I could get with like an M.2 for really fast SSD. We're talking like 10 gigabit transfer speeds. There's SATA Express, I believe, coming out. I'm not real sure on that. So we're going to see tremendous increases in speed as far as the SSD drives go, but it's all bleeding edge stuff. And I tell you, I'm quite interested in that because I really do like hardware, but I can't justify the price for it. I wish I could. I wish I could say, dear, I'm going to need to take a couple $1,000s and upgrade my PC, and she would probably have me committed to a mental hospital realistically. Because I use, my machine mostly for work and some gaming. But I've been very busy on different projects, so not a lot of time even to do gaming, unfortunately. And I'm not that great at games. I'll be honest with you. I'm probably one of the worst gamers out there, but it's a great way to, take out my frustration. So also kind of a funny story, I got a call yesterday from Verizon because my contract is up on the phone. Of course, they're trying to retain my business. I'll tell you, I have a plan right now for $60 a month that is unlimited calls, unlimited text, and 2 gigabytes of data per month. That's the only device that I have on a wireless data plan, which is way better than what I started with 2 years ago, which was a little over $100 a month, 1 gigabyte of data per month. So the prices went down tremendously thanks to competition. Thank God for competition. And, they're wanting to retain my business. And so the fellow calls me from Verizon and says, the new iPhone 6 are coming out. I said, yeah. And he goes, now, there's a good possibility that your local store will be sold out almost immediately on these phones, but I can send you one out right now. And I said, excuse me? You can send me an iPhone 6 today? Sure. Well, then by all means do so. But he quickly realized he had made a mistake. And I was going to ask for the 5.5-inch model. I should have done that, right? I should have asked him for the 5.5. He just got a little ahead of himself in his script, I guess. But it's like, no, we're going to be holding some back, so when people call, we can send them out. And so the iPhone I have now is an iPhone 5, and I've been looking at different phones, and I'm keeping an open mind. I have never ruled out Android, but every time iPhone kind of is the winner for me. And I'm sort of in that Apple ecosystem right now. And I have my movies, for example, I buy on through iTunes so I can stream on my Apple TV. So kind of locked in that ecosystem. But I'm thinking, when I seen the introduction for the Galaxy Note 4, gotta tell you, I was very impressed with that phone. Very, very impressed with the phone. Not so much. I'm still trying to kind of figure out the market for the Galaxy Edge, Note Edge. And if you haven't seen that, basically they take a small portion and the screen is kind of bent around, so they consider 2 different displays. I'm not sure how practical that would be, but obviously, they feel there's a market for it. But I'm really impressed with the Galaxy Note 4. I mean, it's got a lot going for it. But I think I think I'm going to still continue with the iPhone. And I'll probably do just the 16 gigabyte model. I wish Apple would allow or permit external storage, allow us to add an SD card to increase the storage on those rather than, I can't believe it is the year 2014 and we're still going to probably be limited to 16, 32, 64, and I'm hearing a potential 128 gigabyte version. I'm hoping about all hopes that the base model iPhone announced next Tuesday will be 32 gigabytes, but knowing Apple, will probably be 16 gigabyte, and which is unfortunate. Which makes, me and my stepson had a conversation about Apple versus Android. He goes, I just don't like Apple. They force you into just buying Apple only stuff, and you got your choice of the iPhone, or the iPhone, and that's it. And he says, I really like having my choice of phone. And I said, well, what's so bad, And my feelings was, yeah, but Android is heavily fragmented. You're dependent on the carriers to push out updates. Okay, you get a new phone. There seems to be a new phone introduced every week in the Android world. And and so now you just sign a 2-year contract on this Android phone when there's a bigger, better one coming out the next Monday. I mean, that's just kind of the Apple versus Android. They both have their pros and cons, right? And I'm pretty comfortable in the iPhone world. But if I had to choose another phone, it still wouldn't be the Note. I think the Note is too big for me. But I'd probably look at something like the Galaxy S5. It would probably be definitely a Samsung phone, and more than likely the S5 would be more than adequate phone. Large, but not a phablet. And I thought about the iPhone 6, the 5.5 inch. I can't rule it out entirely, but the way I see it, no, I'd probably stick with the rumored 4.7 inch model. And then finally, just a few thoughts on wearables. I did a video once about the number of people who buy wearable technology only to quit using it within a few months. And as it stands today, I guess I have a hard time wrapping my mind around literally the usefulness of a smartwatch, considering most of the features, unless you're into health monitoring. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around the various features that would, make it compelling to wear this watch. You'll notice I don't wear a watch right now. And I've gotten away from wearing a watch since the days that I used to wear a suit and tie to work for someone else years and years ago. And that particular wearable technology, unless you're really into health and fitness in a big, big way, I'm just having a hard time figuring out the real usefulness of it, other than the kind of the cool or wow factor of it. But I just wonder, wouldn't that wear off rather quickly? And there's a lot of things out there on the web, if you read them, that suggest that, yeah, it kind of loses its luster with a lot of people rather quickly. They buy it, they use it for a little while, and maybe it's just something I don't want one more thing to charge up. But that's me. I have never owned a wearable piece of technology, so I can't speak of it with absolute authority. Just trying to get my mind around it. And I want to get your mind around it too in the comments below. And that's kind of catching you up on a little bit of what's going on around here. I'd love to upgrade to the 5960X. Maybe if I could justify it cost-wise, I would, but for right now I can't. But probably the next real upgrade I'll do to my gaming PC is a new graphics card. And that'll be probably within about a year. And then we'll take a look and see what's on the market and what's available then. Other than that, I'm just kind of bringing everybody up to date, and hopefully we'll work out the details on the trip to the Henry Ford Museum and share that with everybody on the vlog. And what's your opinion on these vlogs? Should I continue doing vlogs? Do you like the vlogs? Let me know in the comments down below. Bruce Naylor, I'll talk to you later. Take care.